Imagine someone asking for your help to stop a bully in their neighborhood. But there's a catch. The person asking for your help is currently bullying you in your own backyard. What do? In the 1940s, Black Americans faced a high-stakes, real-world version of that exact dilemma. The United States was going to war to stop overseas dictators who were actively trying to crush global freedom. But right here at home, the American government was enforcing a system called segregation. These were strict laws designed specifically to keep Black and white Americans completely separated, treating Black citizens as inferior. So hundreds of thousands of Black Americans had to make an incredibly heavy choice. Do you risk your life to fight for a country that actively oppresses you? A young man named James G. Thompson sparked an answer to that question. He helped launch an ambitious newspaper campaign to tackle this problem head-on. They called it the Double V campaign. The idea was to fight for two simultaneous victories: victory number 1 against the dictators overseas, and victory number 2 against racism at home. The core strategy relied on leverage. If Black soldiers went overseas and proved their bravery on a global stage, it would expose the American government's unfairness. They couldn't celebrate these heroes globally while denying them basic rights locally without looking completely foolish. The Double V was a calculated political strategy. It was a specific plan to use the world's attention to force the United States to live up to its own promises of freedom. There is a word for saying you stand for one thing but doing the exact opposite. That's hypocrisy. And during the war, the American military was full of it. Even in uniform, Black soldiers were kept completely isolated from white troops. They were forced into separate, inferior sleeping quarters and dining halls. The sharpest sting of this hypocrisy happened right on American soil. When the military brought captured German soldiers stateside, these prisoners of war were allowed to eat at local American lunch counters. Meanwhile, the Black soldiers guarding them were legally banned from those exact same restaurants. Military leadership routinely assigned Black soldiers the hardest, most dangerous manual labor, while actively denying them leadership roles, essentially setting them up to fail. But instead of failing, these soldiers decided to fight back with sheer excellence. You can see that excellence in the Tuskegee Airmen, famously known as the Red Tails. This chart shows the performance gap. The military handicapped the Red Tails, assigning them slower, second-hand planes to fly dangerous missions against superior enemy aircraft. Yet, despite the equipment gap, they shot down 12 enemy bombers in 2 days, earning over 150 special medals. By outflying the enemy in outdated planes, the Red Tails completely dismantled the assumption that Black soldiers couldn't handle complex machinery or command under pressure. That same push for excellence extended beyond combat. Black women were vital to the Double V strategy, especially the women of the Army's 6888th Battalion. The Army handed them an overwhelming logistical backlog deep into the war. 17 million pieces of undelivered mail were stacked to the ceiling in freezing, rodent-filled warehouses. This lack of communication from home was actively destroying troop morale. The military expected the cleanup to take over 6 months. By dividing into around-the-clock shifts, the 6888th sorted the entire 17 million piece backlog in just 3. By solving a problem the military thought was impossible, these women provided undeniable proof that their work was essential to the survival and spirit of the entire American armed forces. When World War II finally ended, the United States and its allies had secured that first V, the victory over fascism abroad. But the fight for the second V was just heating up. Black Americans returned home carrying undeniable, documented proof of their skill, patriotism, and sacrifice. Civil rights organizers like A. Philip Randolph took that heroic war record and used it to apply intense, unavoidable pressure on the United States government. The entire world had just watched the U.S. fight a war for freedom. Randolph and other leaders used that global spotlight as leverage to demand concrete changes to the way America treated its own citizens. The pressure from the Double V campaign worked. It forced President Harry S. Truman to take a pivotal step forward. This layout shows Executive Order 9981, which explicitly mandated equality of treatment and opportunity for all persons in the armed services, regardless of race. This order officially ended the policy of racial segregation within the United States military. By integrating the military, the federal government provided a new model for American life. This was one of the first presidential actions on civil rights and served as a precursor to broader desegregation in America. The Double V campaign shows us exactly what it takes to change an unjust system. Sometimes moving the world forward requires the courage to fight for justice on multiple fronts, against multiple bullies at the exact same time.